Let's talk about cash discounts with a partial payment. Now, frankly, many companies will not give you the cash discount if you make a partial payment. In other words, if you owe me $7,000 and I'm giving you a $310 net 30 discount, part of the reason I'm offering that 3% is because I want to get all my money real fast. But what if somebody says, you know, I don't, well, before we go there, let's see what happens on the books if we paid it in full before the deadline. Let's say we got the 3% discount. How much was our balance before we paid our bill? $7,000. If we get the discount and we pay in full, what is our ending balance after we pay our bill? If we pay it in full, how much do we owe? Zero. Okay? So we owed $7,000, we paid zero. I'm sorry, we owed $7,000. After we paid everything, now we owe zero. Now the question is, these questions will always ask us, how much credit are we going to get on our account? First of all, let's see what our payment was. Let's knock 3% off of this, which would be $210. So what would we actually pay? We'd pay $57.90, wouldn't we? In other words, we send them a check, $67, thank you. We send them a check for $67.90. But if this is going to subtract from that and equal zero, how much credit did they give us? They gave us $7,000 credit, didn't they? Or we wouldn't zero out. Now, a bookkeeper wouldn't do it this way. A bookkeeper would split that into two numbers and say, I'm giving you $67.90 credit for this check. I'm giving you $210 credit for that 3% discount. And that balances out to zero. But for the purposes of this course, all we care about is what was the total credit that that person got for making that payment. Now, what if that person said, I don't have $67.90 right now, but I'll give you $4,000, and I'm doing it before the discount period's over. So I'm making a partial payment of $4,000. And let's say this is a company that says, hey, we'd rather have part of our money early than none of it early. We'll go ahead and give you that 3% discount, even if you make a partial payment. Well, here's the thing. We have to somehow figure out, given this payment amount, how that translates to that credit amount with a 3% cash discount. Let's look at the situation where we paid the whole thing. When we paid $67.90, what percent was that of the list if we saved 3%? That was 97%, wasn't it? In other words, for every 97 cents we paid, we got $1 credit because we were getting a 3% discount. So if we want to say how many 97-cent chunks are in that amount, when you want to say how many chunks are in something, you divide it by that, don't you? Everybody punch in $67.90 divided by 0.97 equals, and that should be $7,000. Okay? So if we made a payment of $67.90, they gave us $7,000 credit. What if we made a payment of $4,000? We do exactly the same thing to it. We divide it by the complement of the discount rate. And that tells us how much credit they're going to give us. So if we divide 4,000 by 0.97, how much credit do they give us to the nearest penny? For what? 4123.71. Does that sound good to everybody? All right, notice they're going to give us more credit than what we paid, aren't we? We're going to get more credit than what we paid because we're getting a discount. So this number should always be bigger than our payment. Now, to find our ending balance, we just subtract it from 7,000. Does that look right? 2976.29? Somebody nod or shake. 28, yes, you're right. Does that look better? The old in-the-head calculator is getting tired at the end of the day. All right, so if the problem said we get a 3% cash discount, we owed 7,000, we made a partial payment of 4,000, they would ask us two questions. They'd say, how much credit do we get? What's our ending balance after we make the partial payment? Notice that you can't multiply 3% times 7,000. That'd be $210 discount. You can't multiply 3% times 4,000. That'd be $120 extra, and we're getting $123.71. The only way you can get the right answer is to divide the partial payment by the complement of the cash discount.